Ezekiel chapter 23. Wayahi davar Yahweh lai more, and the word of Yahweh was to me, saying, Ben Adam, O son of Adam, Thetaim Nathim Benotehim Ahad Hayu. 2 women, daughters of one mother, they were. What is na b'Mithraim, and they whored in Mithraim. Bin Rurehem Zanu, in their youth times they whored. Thamma Mo'aku Thedechem, there they squeezed their breasts. Witham Eshu Dade Bethulehem, and there they effectuated the nipples of their virginity. Ushamotam Ohala Hagdola wa Oholiva Achotah, and their names were Oholah, the elder, or the big one, and Oholivah, her sister. Ratihyanali, and they became for me. Wateladna banim wavanot, and they begat sons and daughters. Ushmotan Shomron Oholah Yerushalem Oholiva, and their names, Shomron is Oholah, and Yerushalem Oholiva Ma. What is an Oholah Tahatai, and Oholah whored in place of me. What Agab Almahabaha, and she lusted upon her lovers. Elathur Korobim, to Athur, near ones, neighbors. Levushet Chelet, ones clothed of blue. Pahot Usaganim, governors and rulers. Bahure Hamid Kulam, chosen ones of delight, all of them. Parashim Rokabe Susim, horsemen, one riding on horses. Watitin Taznutaha Alehem, and she gave her whorings upon them. Mivahar b'nei Athur kulam, the chosen of the sons of Athur, all of them. Ubekol atra agava bekol gilulehem nitma, and in all which she lusted, by all their idols she was defiled. What titnetazanutaha alehem, and she gave her whorings upon them. Mivahar b'nei Athur kulam, the choicest of the sons of Athur, all of them. Ubekol atra agava bekol gilulehem nitma, and in all which she lusted, in all their idols she was defiled. Oh, I read that twice. We'et tazanutaha mimithraim lo azaba, and and her whorings from Mithraim, Egypt, she did not forsake. Ki hotah shakava bin ghurha wehemma ishu dadde betulaha. For they lay with her in her youth times, and they made up the nipples of her virginity. Waishpuku tazanu tam alaha, and they poured out their whorings upon her. Lakin natatiha biyadmahabaha, therefore I have given her into the hand of her lovers, biyad b'nei Athur, into the hand of the sons of Athur, atra'agaba alehem, which she lusted after them, lusted over them. Hemma gilu erwatah, they uncovered her nakedness. Baneha ubnotaha laqahu, her sons and her daughters they took. Wotah baher baharagu, and she and her by the sword they killed. Watahith Shem lanashim ushufutim ashubah, and she became a name for the women, and their judge and ones being judged, they effectuated in her judgments. Okay, and they effectuated judgments in her. Waterh achotah oholiva, and her sister Oholiva saw. Watashehet agvatah mimna, and she corrupted her lusting more than her. Wetatazanutaha mizanune achotah, and her whorings more than the whorings of her sister. Elbene hathur agava pahot usaganim korovim levushe michlol parashim rokavim susim bahure hamad kulam. To the sons of Athur she lusted, governors and prefects or rulers, neighbors, ones clothed completely, clothed to perfection, horse riders, riders of horses, chosen ones of desire, all of them. Waer ki nitma, and I saw that she was defiled. Derka ehad lithetehen, one way for the two of them. Watosef eletazanuteha, and she added to her whorings. Water anashem hukka al hakir, and she saw men inscribed upon the wall. Thalame kashadim hakukim bashashar, images of the Kashdim inscribed in the vermilion. Hagorezor, girded, ones girded of belt, b'motnehem, upon their loins, suruhet avulim, b'rahashehem, unrestrained of turban by their heads. Mare shalithim, thalithim kulam, the appearance of rulers, all of them. Demut b'nei Babel, kashadim, the sons of the likeness of the sons of Babel, Kashdim, Eresh Moladatam, the land of their begetting. Wata'agaba alehem lemare eneha, and she lusted upon them for the appearance of her eyes. Watishalah malakim alehem kashadima, and she sent messengers to them, to Kashdim. Wayavo eleha b'nei Babel mishkavadodim, and the sons of Babel came to her, to the beddings of lovings, of loves, or the bed of loves. Wayatamehu otah b'tazanutam, and they defiled her by their whoring. Watitamaha, and she was defiled by them. Wateqa nafshah mehem, and her soul was dislocated or alienated from them. Watgal tazanutaha, and she uncovered her whorings. Watgal et erwatah, and she uncovered her nakedness. Wateqa nafshi me'alaha, and my soul was dislocated or alienated from upon her. Kahatranaqa nafshi me'ala achotah, like that my soul was dislocated or alienated from upon her sister. Watarab et tazanutaha, and she multiplied her whorings. Lidhakora et yemenuha atrazanata behersh Mizraim, for remembering the days of her youth times, when she whored in the land of Mizraim. Wata'agaba ala pilagashehem, and she lusted upon their concubines or paramours. Atr bashar hamorim basharam, which the flesh of donkeys is their flesh. Uzimarat susim zimaratam, and the flow of horses is their flow. Watifiqadi et zimmat nughurayik, and thou art mustered, thou mustered the lewdness of thy youth times. Ba'ashot mim Mizraim dadayik, in the effectuation from Mizraim of thy nipples. L'marn shadenu for the sake of the breasts of thy youth times. Lakin ohaliva ko amar Adonai Yahweh. Thus ohaliva, thus Adonai Yahweh hath spoken, or therefore ohaliva, thus Adonai Yahweh hath spoken. Hinnani me'ir et mahavaik alaik. Behold me, stirring up thy lovers upon thee. Et atrna nafshik mehem, which thy soul hath been dislocated or alienated from them. Wahavetim alaik misavib, and I shall bring them upon thee from round about. B'nei Babel ukol kashadim b'kod v'shua v'koa kol b'nei hathur hotam. Sons of Babel and all the Kashdim, b'kod and Shua and Koa, all the sons of Athur with them. Bahure Hemed Pahod Usaganim Kulam Thalithim Ukruhim Rokve Susim Kulam. Chosen ones of delight, governors and rulers, all of them. Officers and called ones, riders of horses, all of them. Wabahu alaik hothen rakab wagalagal wabikahal amim thinna wamagel wakova yashimu alaik sabib, and they shall come upon thee. Armor and chariot and wheel, and by an assembly of peoples, shield and buckler and helmet they set over thee round about. Wanatati lipnehem mithapat, and I shall give before them a judgment. Ushafatuk b'mishpatehem, and they shall judge thee by their judgments. Wanatati qinahati bak, and I shall give my jealousy among thee, or against thee. Wa'ashuhotak behema, and they shall effectuate thee in fury. They shall make thee, or deal with thee, in fury. Apeka or the naika yasiru, thy nose and thy ears they shall remove. Wa'acharitek bacharb tipol, and thy end, thy end, by the sword thou shalt fall. Hemma ba naika ubenotaika yikahu, they, thy sons and thy daughters, they shall take. Wa'acharitek tehakel baesh, and thy end, thou shalt be eaten in the fire, consumed by the fire. W'hifshituk et begadaik, and they shall strip thee of thy clothing. W'laqahu kaletifaharatek, and they shall take the vessels of thy beauty, of thy splendor. W'hishabati zimmatek mimek, and I shall cause thy lewdness to cease from thee. W'etzanutek mehersh Mithraim, and thy whoring from the land of Mithraim. W'lohetishahi enaik, alehem, and thou shalt not lift thy eyes to them. U'mitzrayim lo tithkari od, and thou shalt not remember Mitzrayim anymore. Ki ko amar Adonai Yahweh, for thus Adonai Yahweh hath said, Hineni notanak biyad atar shanet. Behold me, one giving thee into the hand of whom thou hast hated. Biyad ataranak anapshek mehem, mehem, into the hand of whom thy soul hath been dislocated, alienated from them. Wa'ashuotak b'shinah, and they shall effectuate thee, or do with thee in hatred. V'laqahu kol yagi'ek, and they shall take all thy labor. Wa'azabuk erom wa'eryah, and they shall leave thee naked and bare. Wenigala erwat zanunaik, and they shall uncovered, and the nakedness of thy whorings shall be uncovered. Wizimatek, witazanutaik, and thy lewdness and thy whorings. Ashoelelak, effectuating these things for thee. Bizanotek acharegoyim, by thy whoring after nations. Al ataranitamet begilulehem, upon whom thou wast defiled by their idols. Bederka achotek halakat, in the way of thy sister thou hast walked. Wanatata kosah beyadek, and I have given her cup into thy hand. Kohamar Adonai Yahweh, thus hath said Adonai Yahweh, Kosa achotek tishati, the cup of thy sister thou shalt drink. Ha'amukah w'harahaba, the deep and the broad cup. Tihiyah lithahok u'la'ag mirba lahakil, thou shalt be for a laughing stock and for a derision. It makes much to contain. Shikaron wiyagon timale, drunkenness and sorrow thou shalt be filled. Kosa shama ushamama, kosa achotek shomron, the cup of astonishment and desolation, the cup of thy sister Shomron. Washatit otah wamatit, and thou shalt drink it, and thou shalt drain. Where the harashaha tagaremi, and its sherds thou shalt scrape, or gnaw. Thou shalt gnaw its sherds. Withadaik tenateki, and thy breasts thou shalt tear. Ki hani dibarti, because I have worded it. Noum Adonai Yahweh, a declared thing of Adonai Yahweh. Lakin kohamar Adonai Yahweh, Therefore, thus Adonai Yahweh hath spoken, Yarnasha kahatoti, because thou hast forgotten me. Watashaliki hoti acharega, and thou hast thrown me behind thy back. Wigamahat shahizimatek, and also lift thou thy iniquity, O thy lewdness, وَإِتَّزَنُوا ثَايِكَ, and thy whoredoms. وَيُمَرْ Yahweh Eli, and Yahweh said to me, Ben Adam, hatithapot et ohala, et oholiva. Is it that thou shalt judge ohala and oholiva? وَهَجَّدْ لَهِنْ et to'avotehem, and thou shalt narrate thou for them their abominations. Ki nihefu, because they have committed adultery. Wadam biyadehim, and blood is in their hands. Wetgilulehem nihefu, and their idols, they have committed adultery. Wigama et benehem atrayaladuli, and also their sons which they begat for me. He'aviru lahem lochala, they have caused to pass to them for food. Odadot ashuli, still this they effectuated to me. Timmahu et miqdashi bayom hahu, they defiled my sanctuary in that day. Et shabbatotai hillelu, and my shabbats they profaned. Ubishahatam et benehem legilulehem, Wayavohu el miqdashi bayom hahu lahallalo, and in their slaughtering their sons to their idols, also they came to my sanctuary in that day to profane it. Wihineko ashu betoka beti, and behold, thus they effectuated in the midst of my house. Wahapaki tishalahna lahanashim, and also as ye have sent for the men, Baim mimrahaq, ones coming from afar, Atramalak shaluh alehem wihinevahu, Latrahasht kahalat enaik wa'adit adi, which a messenger sent to them, and behold, they came to for whom thou hast washed, thou hast beautified or darkened, painted thy eyes, and thou hast adorned ornaments. Do you see what whores do? Do you see what the whoring heart does for someone other than her husband? She adorns herself with ornaments, and she paints her eyes. وَيَثَبْتَ عَلَمِتْ أَكَبُدَّا, and thou sittest upon a glorious bed. وَشُلْحَانَ عَرُوكَ لَفَانَهَا, and a prepared table before before it. Uqatarati, 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 Washamani, Shamata alaha, and my incense and my oil thou hast set upon it. Waqol hamon shaleu bah, and the voice of a multitude at ease is in her. Welhanashim merobadam, and two men from the abundance of Adam, Muvaim, Sabaim, Mimidbar, and to men from the abundance of Adam, ones coming, drunken ones from the wilderness. Vayetnu thamidim elayadehen, and they put bracelets to her hands. Wa'atarat, to their hands. Sorry, they put bracelets to their hands. Wa'atarat tifarat ala rahashehen, and a crown of beauty upon their heads. Wa'omar labbala nehufim, and I said, for the one wearing out, for the worn out one adulterated, one worn out of adulteries. Atta yizanu tazanu tahawahi, now they shall whore her whorings, also she. Wayavoh eleha kavoh elahithazona, and he came to her like the comings to a prostitute woman, a whoring woman. Kenabahu ela ohala we ela ohaliba ishot hazimah. Thus they came to Oholah and to Oholiba, women of whoring, women of the lewdness. Wahanashim tzadiqim hema yithpatu othem mithapat nohapot umithapat shofakot dam, and men, righteous men, they shall judge them, the judgment of adulteresses, and the judgment of ones shedding blood. Ki nohafotahemna wadam biadehen, because they are adulteresses, and blood is in their hands. Ki kohamar Adonai Yahweh, because thus Adonai Yahweh hath said, Ha'ale alehem qahal, make come up upon them, make an assembly come up upon them. Wanaton etehen leza'awa walavaz, and to give them for an outcry or a horror, and for a spoil. Waragamu alehem heaven qahal, and a company shall stone on them with stone. Uvarehotehen baharavotam, and shall create them or make them or cut them down by their swords. Benehem uvenotehem Yaharogu, their sons and their daughters they shall slay or kill. Uvatehen Baesh Yishorofu, and their houses in the fire they shall burn. Wihishabatizimma minharsh, and I shall cause lewdness to cease from the land. Winiwasaru kol hanathim, welo ta'ashana kazimatakana, and all the women shall be chastised or taught, and they shall not effectuate like your lewdness. وَنَاتَنُوا زِمَّتَكَنَا عَلَيْكَنْ, and they shall give your lewdness upon you. وَحَتَّى يَجِلُّ تِشَنَا, and the sins of your idols ye shall bear. وَيَدَعْتَمْ ki hani Adonai Yahweh, and ye shall know that I am Adonai Yahweh.